The entire Ken Carson album leaked. I heard a couple of the songs. I'm not going to play them on stream because I know they'll get mad. And they might even take shit down. But I don't actually think it's part of the rollout, but I feel like that's just an inherent thing that happens every rollout for Ken Carson. I think it's just because like people, it's probably been submitted to Spotify and Apple Music, and so the hackers or leakers or whatever probably ripped it off per usual from the databases of these larger streaming platforms and then just send it out. Now, people at first were claiming like it was Osama Sun's producer or like leaker or whatever because Osama Sun called Ken Carson a clone. And I even tweeted this like, you're legit slow if you think Osama Sun called Ken Carson a clone. Because if anyone's a clone in this comparison here, it's Osama Sun is definitely influenced by Ken Carson. Now, I think he's got his own sound, but I feel like Ken Carson kind of like started this grungy wave, or it was like a godfather, grandfather type situation. Osama Sun on his Finsta said fake messages. I didn't say a word, but like we already knew that. Like I don't know how some people believe that. But yeah, why do people leak these albums? I have no idea. I won't be listening. I will be waiting till Friday. I feel like leaks kind of ruin the experience of the album. And I don't necessarily care if you listen to it, but if I'm going to listen to a project, I want to see it on my streaming platform where I can add it to my library and all my public playlists and shit. I want to see the cover art on it. And like that shit low key kind of does add to it. I don't know why. Also, there might be like a different mix on it or master. There might be a different track list order. I don't know what it is, bro. I just like it to be official. Now, there was like a Uzi leak a couple of days ago, like Harley, that was never dropping. That shit was amazing, but that was never dropping. So I get it. But like considering these songs are dropping, I'm not going to be listening to it. Now, what some people were asking me, Judy even called me too earlier today. He was asking me what my opinion was, because I think he was making a video as well. If this was going to affect Ken Carson's sales. And I truly don't think it will whatsoever. Because, you know, Kai Cenat, Blackboy Max, all the big streamers, Dabo, they're all going to be streaming it. There's going to be hella hype behind the album. Cardi's probably going to repost it on his Instagram story. Academics, rap, every single rap page. Ken Carson might be, he's probably more hype than and bigger organically than most of these mainstream artists that get just way more push. Like he just uses way less marketing budget. So like first week sales don't even really matter when it comes to Ken Carson, because he just like actually can sell out more shows than most of these rappers. Like name a mainstream artist that gets hella numbers, like French Montana, bro. Who's selling more tickets? Now, French Montana, I feel like actually has like, he's like a diamond record, but like, I don't know. He might have more old heads wanting to go to his tours. I don't know. I just feel like Ken Carson, maybe that's a bad example. Tyga, Shabuzi could sell tickets because he's country. They be buying shit. I'm trying to figure out what's a good comparison to like a big artist. Lil Baby. I truthfully think Ken Carson could probably, the fact that it's even comparable, the fact that we're even saying that Ken Carson could potentially sell more tickets to shows than Lil Baby just shows you like Lil Baby is held high in regard here. Like he's like a superstar world star rapper. Whereas Ken Carson's like big, but he's like still revered as underground. However, organically, and everyone knows Lil Baby just because he's been pushed to the max and he's got every cosign in the world and he had a big Drake song, but like Ken Carson just got more like, I swear to God, he got more like diehard fans than Lil Baby at this point. You know, I never really liked Lil Baby that much. He had a couple songs, like the freestyle song. But after that, I was like, Gunna's better. But Gunna, even at this point, to me, is repetitive. But as I was saying, the point I was making was, I don't think it's going to affect the leaks, or not going to affect Ken Carson's album sales, just because the fans who are listening to the leaks, they're going to be supporting Ken, buying bundles, listening to the album a million times the first week, even again to stream it. Like, you know what I mean? They just want to hear their man. They just want to hear it early. So it's not going to affect sales whatsoever. In fact, what I was saying before was, it kind of helps in a way. I was talking to someone in my Discord the other day, like he was kind of pressing me, like, yo, why do you hate leakers and shit? I was like, I don't hate leakers. I don't give a fuck. I don't care about most things. But leaks, most of the time, help artists because you can test out the waters to see if you actually if the fans like the song before you release it. And it's like free marketing. And it doesn't really affect sales in the slightest, unless it's like 2 months prior, like with Trippie Redd, where like people already ran through the entire album. But if it's like the same week, nah, that shit don't matter. But just the headlines about like More Chaos full album leaks. Like I even saw this shit on Rap getting posted about the leaks of More Chaos, and like fans, Ken Carson fans show love to him by avoiding his album leaks. Like, this is organic content. So it's almost part of the rollout now. Like the album being leaked in the same week. So I think it just gives more lore behind the project. Like when people hear about More Chaos, like in a conversation a year from now, they'll be like, oh yeah, I heard it like a week prior. Or they're going to remember something like that. You know? What if it's ass and they decide not to stream it? I mean, that could very easily happen, but you know how like fans are with Opium, where like they get the pass more than other artists, where they'll be like, you know what? It grew on me. Like people will, no matter what, I feel like people will end up just liking Ken Carson's project because he's one of those artists that has all the hype, like Cardi. And it's because of Cardi, you know, at least initially, because the Cardi cosign means a lot. It's probably the biggest cosign you could get. But like people will make themselves, it will trend on TikTok. It will be the cool thing to listen to. You know what I mean? It's just social media and psychology. How come Ken albums always get leaked early, but not Lone or Cardi? I feel like Lone albums get leaked too, no? I feel like we've heard a lot of leaks prior to the album. Personally, maybe I just don't know because I don't really care about Lone's music like that. Ken is the chosen one, I feel like, for the Opium label. Cardi's music, I feel like the reason that doesn't leak, although if you recall, Fuck On My DJ ended up, that was a leak and everyone was like, oh man, why wasn't this on the project? It was so fire, including myself. I said that. A couple days later, ends up being on the deluxe or Music V2. So it leaked right there, but you're right, it wasn't the entire album. So what I've heard with like Cardi's albums or high priority artists like that, and I'm talking about like the highest priority, like Uzi, like Cardi, basically they put in trackers, almost like affiliate links, with who they send the album to in a Dropbox. And one, there's like passwords and security to actually get into the Dropboxes where the music is being stored, or it's on a physical hard drive. They take hardcore precautions. A lot of people, when they record music on like in studios, they'll do it on the studio computers, but they don't save it on those studio computers because obviously that will get ripped and it'll be sold. And that studio just made a bag off Cardi recordings at their studio, or they'll like delete it off their computer, whatever it is. But then, as I was saying with the affiliate links, like if they send it to somebody, they can track that specific link of like, oh, that link or that watermarked song, because they watermarked it specifically, like when they sent it to a person. If that particular song or link goes somewhere, like they will know who did it. I don't know exactly, because obviously I'm not in it like that, but that's what I've been told. Like even when you're an artist working with Cardi, such as like Trippy, like there's security behind it where like he couldn't even really hear the feature for specific songs until like the day of type shit. You know what I mean? But I feel like Ken just doesn't have that security just yet. He's not deciding who the features are. Did Ken Carson's album end up having features? Let's just look it up. I just want to see. Ken Carson, more chaos leak. We need to see if there were features. Okay, entire album. Money Spread, Black Rockstar, Confetti. But these are just file names. Did anybody listen to it here? Were there any features on there? No. Has no features but a fire Tekka and Ken song leaks. I saw that. Tekka and Ken are an underrated duo for sure. Like they just have... Tekka's super versatile, so he can like kind of match Ken on his style of beats, whereas normally he's more of like a pop rapper. But Tekka's super talented. I feel like he's underappreciated. But that's just because he doesn't really make like underground style music, so he's not going to get that type of support.